All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. So the first story, Nick Walker, as you guys know if you watched yesterday's video, Nick Walker earned his pro card yesterday at the NPC North Americans by winning the overall at that show. Well, in the comment section of his victory photo on Instagram, he said that his next show, he responded to this comment from Craig Goliath asking what his next step is. He says his next show is going to be the Chicago Pro, which as of right now, Nick is 6 weeks out from that Chicago Pro. So like I said, if I were Nick, this is exactly what I would do. I would go straight into the first show that I thought I could do as a pro and try to nab that Olympia qualification. And I've been saying this for the past 6 months to a year about Nick as an amateur, that his physique as an amateur is every bit as good, if not better than, half the IFBB right now. From a muscle mass standpoint, he's right there in the mix with the level that these IFBB pros are on. To be honest, if you look at this New York Pro lineup that we just watched yesterday, if you had thrown Nick Walker in that lineup, if he got off stage at the North Americans and walked straight on stage at the New York Pro, how he was looking at the North Americans, he would have placed or won that show. You're crazy if you're telling me Nick Walker wouldn't have been top 6 at the New York Pro this year. Now, Nick is a mass monster, but Nick, if you're watching this, another little piece of advice. A little birdie has told me that Big Ramy is looking at competing possibly in the Chicago Pro and not looking at Spain. So that's the word on the street right now, is that we're not going to see Ramy in Spain, despite the fact that Spain has this crazy opportunity to qualify for the Olympia. What I've been told is he's looking more at Chicago. And I only say that to say that I want to see Nick get to the Olympia, and he's going to have to win a show to do that at this point. So, Nick, if I were you, and I am my own Nick, but I would compete in Cali next week. I would, just see how you do there. Then you've got 5 weeks after Cali to try to come correct at the Chicago Pro, because I'm pretty certain Ramy's not doing Cali. And again, I only say that to say I think Nick could win in a lineup similar to the New York Pro. But when you start throwing a name like Big Ramy in that show, I can't in any good conscience say that Nick is going to beat Big Ramy. So I'm just saying, just throwing it out there, I would kind of like to see Nick throw his hat in the ring at the Cali Pro next week and then shut it down for 5 weeks. Well, not shut it down, but continue prepping for 5 weeks and try to look better at the Chicago Pro. Now, next up in the news, Brandon Curry showing all types of confidence, giving us a very brief but still a very revealing posing video in the magic mirror over there in the Middle East. So not much of a surprise here yet. He's still 15 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia, so of course he's not in Olympia shape, but it's Brandon. So what we see here is the typical Brandon roundness and fullness, one of Brandon's strongest points, and of course the wideness of his shoulders and his upper body. Crazy round delts, crazy round arms, crazy round pecs, and of course that shoulder width to waist ratio is no secret. So we're not really learning anything new about Brandon from this physique update, but what we do know is that Brandon is very confident in his prep for the 2020 Mr. Olympia, as he should be, because he is the returning defending champion in 2020. So I gotta say, I love to see it. I love to see that confidence from the champ. He's not letting the fact that Phil's coming back hinder his confidence. I love seeing this. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about how Brandon is looking so far in the magic mirror. And also, how do you think Nick Walker would have placed had he competed in this year's New York Pro? I'm actually very interested to hear your guys' opinion on that, because in the past couple of videos, you guys seem to be very opinionated on the New York Pro outcome. Now, next up in the news, Jujimufu almost catches a fatality during a 630-pound squat. When he's coming up with that rep, he almost falls over, and luckily he has his spotter there with him to kind of correct course and help him regain his balance. But 630 pounds, 286 kilograms would not have been a pretty picture had he fell backwards with that weight. So glad to see that Juji is okay. I'm also glad to see he's still squatting heavy, despite the fact that he is prepping for the 2021 Arnold Classic Amateur. And I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit deeper than usual. That's because my allergies have been acting up these past 24 hours. The pollen count here in Ohio is a bit crazy. It's got my allergies going a bit haywire. So that's why my voice sounds a little bit different. Now, also in the news, in terms of crazy lifts, Larry Wheels. Finally, we get to talk about Larry again. I feel like I've been talking about a lot of strict curl stories and cheat curl stories lately, and Larry has been kind of lacking in getting in the mix with these stories. So Larry posted a video on Instagram doing 315-pound cheat curls when he was 19 years old, of course wearing the animal shirt. So Larry ends up doing 3 reps with that 315 there for the cheat curl. Now, keep in mind that Lee Priest allegedly has done 315 for 4, and I'm imagining with stricter form than what Larry is doing there. So I would love to see pictures or video of Lee Priest in his prime cranking out some 315-pound cheat curls. But now we have seen the iconic Larry Wheels do the exact same thing, but for 3. Now, next up in the news, some Breon Ansley and Christopher Bumstead beef. Now, on Breon's Instagram page, he recently posted a physique update, but it wasn't the picture that was interesting. It was, in fact, the caption and the comments that captivated me. The caption, physique, classic, 212, or open selfie. Obviously, that caption comes with the implication that he is switching divisions. Now, of course, our reigning defending champion Chris Bumstead can be found in the comment section below saying, "Don't go running away from me in Classic just yet." The champ noticing that Breon might be hinting at fleeing the Classic Physique division. And Breon goes on to respond in the comment section that he's still here for the rivalry this year, bro, in response to C-Bum. So does that mean that potentially next year or after this Olympia, Breon will be switching divisions? Now, we've seen George Peterson do it. George did it successfully. Keon Pearson is currently in the process of doing it, and it appears that so far he is doing it successfully. We're going to see how he looks on the Chicago Pro stage in 212. But I think this might be a wise move for Breon, and I've said this before, and I still stand by this. I think the judging criteria is changing in Classic Physique, and they are moving more in the direction of a physique like Bumstead's than a physique like Breon's. These are 2 very different physiques, and I think the fact that Bumstead won means that is the new standard for what the judges want to see. That's not saying that Breon is worse than Bumstead or Bumstead's physique is better or worse. From a bodybuilding standpoint, Breon has a great physique for a bodybuilder. He's very complete, and for a bodybuilder, he is more complete than Chris Bumstead, but this is not a bodybuilding competition. This is a Classic Physique competition. So if Breon wants to be the better bodybuilder, maybe he should switch to a different division like 212, and maybe he will do so. In fact, I believe he came from 212 in the first place. He was a 212 bodybuilder, I'm pretty sure, before he was in Classic Physique. But hey, maybe if he feels the package that he's got isn't being rewarded in Classic, maybe he is going to switch. And maybe that is a good idea, because personally, I do think the judging criteria changes from year to year in Classic. It's such a new division. What they're looking for hasn't really been definitively defined yet. And if you look at the transition from the first Mr. Olympia ever in Classic, Danny Hester, to Chris Bumstead, it's a night and day difference between those 2 physiques. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think Breon is changing divisions? Do you think Brandon is going to repeat and win the Olympia title this year? Do you think Larry Wheels is going to break the strict curl world record? Let me know about all these stories in the comment section below. As always, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed yet already. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And as always, Nick Strength and Power signing out.